as requested, I'm going to talk a little bit about investments, because that was one of the things that was asked for me to talk about. All right, give me one moment. Let's get this together. All right, come on in. Let's see. I am responding to some of the requests to I'm looking at my side. I'm responding to some of the requests of that I asked maybe about maybe a month ago of what you guys wanted me to talk about. And one of them, somebody put in do more trainings on investment. So I want to talk a little bit about that. I'm trying to pull up my comments so I can make sure that I see them. All right. And I see you on here. Hey guys, how are you? How are you? I'm just going to be going over a few things. Hey Danielle, what's going on? Um, I have a coaching session coming up in a few moments, so I won't be long. I just want to share some things with you that I think is very important for you to understand. All right. And I'm not gonna wait around. I see you guys. I see you guys in here. Hey, Tiffany. Um, I had a question about investments and how to invest more wisely, I would say. And I want to respond to that because I did say that I would come back and do a few small mini trainings to help you out. And I really want to have a serious conversation today. Hopefully, I can be about 15, 20 minutes. Like I say, I do have a coaching session that's coming up very shortly. Um, but I want to have a real conversation. And the reason why is because there's a lot of people out there that are talking about the wealth transfer. And I've gotten even some questions pertaining to that. And yes, I think it is true. There is, I don't want to, some people are saying the wealth transfer. I don't know if I particularly like the wealth transfer as if it's just one direction. I feel like when God does something spectacular, with his people, he can do it any way he wants. And so there is a wealth transfer that's coming. But I don't think a lot of people, um, thanks so much. All your videos are simple teaching, yet extremely prophetic. Can't wait to hear it. Thank you for that. And it is somewhat prophetic in a sense because I think people are trying to figure out what does that look like. I know when a lot of people say wealth transfer, what does that look like? How does that happen? And most people don't really realize that it's not like magic money is about to fall from the sky. All right. And so I want to help you to understand what that probably looks like and give you some clarity on that so you can understand why this is so important for you guys to make wise decisions uh, in the next 1 to 3 years. I think it's going to dictate where you end up on a financial level. Okay. Now, what I believe that one of the ways I believe that God is going to move assets, is in assets appreciating in value. So while so many people are so distracted, they scrolling, spending money on things that drain you instead of build you. If you don't understand this now, you're going to wake up 5, 10 years from now and wonder why everything is so expensive and why is wealth moving away from me instead of to me. Okay. So I want to help you to understand that God has always used assets, always. In the Bible, wealth was not about it wasn't just about paper money. That's what we see now in our age, right? Or just digital numbers on a screen, but it was real things that held value, like gold and silver. Abraham and Solomon had it. Land and real estate. So there were fields, there were wells, houses, vineyards, and then there were livestock. Right, there were sheep, camels, oxen. Job. I said Job. Job was called the richest man of the East because of his livestock. And then there were vineyards and olive groves. Isaiah and Deuteronomy shows this over and over. There were grain stores. Remember, Joseph stored up grain and saved nations when they went into famine and helped his family out. They had also spices, perfumes, precious stones. So these were tangible goods, and there were ships and trade routes. I mean, there are a lot of assets that the Bible talks about, right? And so, of course, with it being assets, we are talking about biblical stewardship. And let me just say this right quick. Whatever I tell you is not financial advice. These are my experiences. This is for educational purposes only. So I am not speaking as a financial advisor. You are at your own risk for whatever decisions you make with your money and with your investments. Okay. So now I'll get back to this. God has always been about assets. It's all throughout the Bible. Do you believe digital currencies will be somewhat part of this wealth transfer? 100% yes, it will be. And make sure that you know that, because that means that um, that is an asset. You have to look at what is happening in our day and age, and I'll actually talk a little bit about that. So here's the truth about the wealth transfer. Let's fast forward to today, because yes, there are so many different assets in the Bible. If we fast forward to today, most people think that wealth transfer will mean things like, this is just how our minds go. It's like, oh, I'm gonna win the lottery, I'm gonna get a free check in the mail, or just some kind of sudden blessing that's gonna fall in their lap. Okay. And that may be a form of financial blessing, but we're talking about a wealth transfer. A wealth transfer is not going to come from one person winning the lottery. Okay. And we know that everybody can't win the lottery. Okay. And money's not going to just fall on your lap. Okay. The angel is not going to come and send you $10 million. Okay. That's more than likely not going to happen. I'm sorry. All right. And so it's about understanding, though, that money also by itself is not wealth. And that's why this is not about somebody just dropping $1 million in your lap. Okay. Wealth is about owning assets, listen, that gain value while you are sleeping. While you're sleeping. Right. And here's the danger. The danger is that busyness, the busyness of the banks and wealthy families using their business and using their busyness to accumulate and buy up all the assets, while average people are spending all their busyness buying liabilities. Okay. For example, think about this. I'm telling you, because institutions are about to wipe away the wealth. They are, right? They're doing it right now. And it's going to get further and further from you, right? So while you're buying shoes, they're buying Nike stock, right? While you're paying Netflix monthly and watching movies, they're owning Netflix shares. And Netflix, oh my goodness, it's doing amazing in the stock market from the past. Like, if I can, I don't have the numbers with me, but Netflix hit over $1,000, 1150 or so. I'm not sure where it's at today. I haven't even looked at it, honestly. But some people are just watching Bitcoin news, and they just think $100,000 for Bitcoin, that ain't for me. And while you're watching the Bitcoin news, they're accumulating Bitcoin every time it drops. See, they don't care about how much Bitcoin is right now. You can take a piece of the pie. Like, Bitcoin hit, like, I don't know what the high was, 112K or whatever. And then it pulled all the way back to almost $100,000. Like, so if it already hit the high, it's going to go back there. So institutions are buying on the dips and the pullbacks. The problem with a lot of people with looking at these prices is you're already kind of too late, y'all. All right, a little bit. Now you're not all the way too late. But just imagine if the institutions keep buying up all cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency is not like dollars. They don't just keep printing it. Like, cryptocurrency is a small amount. So once all Bitcoin is taken up, then what's going to happen is the price is going to increase, and it's going to get further and further from you. And that makes the value go up. And now they're holding most of it, and you don't have any of it. Okay. And then you'll be crying that the businesses are wealthy and people are rich and you're not. But I'm telling you that you have to start getting your priorities together. Let me give you an example. Okay. A real example, right? With real numbers. I don't know if any of you all have a calculator right now, but I'm going to try to use some basic numbers that I can figure out in my head, but you just let me know. Right. Okay. Real numbers. Let's say there is a cryptocurrency. Maybe some of you heard of it. Maybe some of you have not, called XRP, right? XRP has been around for quite some time. How do I know? Because I invested in it a very long time ago. And I saw XRP at, 20 cents, 30 cents, 40, 50, 60 cents, right? And so let's say you got 10,000 XRP when it was 30 cents. When it was 30 cents. What's 10,000 times 0.3 somebody? Is that 3,000? Around 3,000, I think. Let me know if I'm right. Okay. Right. And so that's very doable if it is 3,000. I'm trying to look to see in the comments if that's right. Is that because I don't have a calculator? Okay. But I'm trying to use a clean number that makes sense, right? Well, let's say it is $3,000, and that is the amount of the investment. You get 10,000 XRP cryptocurrency. Okay, you say yes for $3,000. And let's say you had like a year to give this $3,000 or even a year and a half, because XRP was low for quite some time, right? And so then what happens right now? Let's see. I don't know what XRP is right now, $2.15. Let's say it went all the way up to $3.40. And a lot of people sold it at that point. Okay. They sold it. So it was over $3. They had 10,000. So maybe they took away 30,000. They went from 3 to 30,000, took their money. Now, what happens is when XRP started going up, then people started buying because they're like, oh, this cryptocurrency going up. Look at it, look at it. And now they're buying. And now it's had a pullback. So now people are mad because they bought on top and not on the bottom. Now, do you think somebody who did keep it and didn't sell, like me, do you think that I'm upset about the fact that it's pulling back? No, because when you're looking at the long run, the type of gain that is going to have is tremendous. So like XRP will at some point reach $10, and I believe it could be before the end of the year or by next year. It could reach $10, and that would be $100,000. Okay, if you got 10,000 XRP for a $3,000 investment. Do you know the percentage of that? That's 3,200% gain. Okay, when we talk about wealth transfer, you got to understand how that happens. Now, imagine somebody who got 50,000 XRP or whatever. And the same thing is true with Bitcoin. I'll go over some real numbers. But let's say when XRP hits $20, because yes, it will hit $20. You know what I mean? Just like Bitcoin was once $10, right? When it hits $20, it's at 200,000. If it hits $50, which it probably will at some point, you got to understand what assets are. Assets, that's why wealthy people sit on assets. They sit on them. And a lot of times they just borrow against it. Okay. But when it hits $50, that's $500,000. Okay. Like the exponential growth, I don't even know what the percentage of that is. I mean, we're looking at, I don't know, 10,000%. I don't know, but it's a lot, right? So people had years to do this, right? With some of the digital assets that are now, even some of the stock, when you're looking at some of the amazing stock like a Palantir that's, people were buying in at $20 and now it's at almost $130 a share, and meanwhile, we're spending all our money on what? Y'all are missing the wealth transfer. The wealth transfer is going to come from assets that's on sale right now. You have assets that are still very cheap, but you would rather invest your money in something else, right? Meanwhile, a lot of people are fearful. They lack understanding, so they don't want to move forward on stuff like this, right? And so you got people who are easily spending $3,000 going out to eat, shoes, gadgets, things that you can't even remember a year or two from now. You're not going to remember what you spent $3,000 2 years ago on eating out, on going to the show, on buying new clothes, on getting your hair done, your nails done, buying Starbucks, paying for subscriptions. Trust me, you did, right? And so we got to start paying attention. Now, Bitcoin, same story. Years ago, Bitcoin, let's say it was 200, then 1,000. Then people say, oh, that's too expensive. Then it's at 10,000 and 20,000. And then, oh, that's too expensive. Now it's 100. You got to understand it's the programming. It's going to always be too expensive because you don't have your priorities right. Meanwhile, there is a wealth transfer that is happening. And the institutions are buying so that you don't have any more to have. And then when these prices go up, they're going to be too expensive for you. So you're missing it, right? Now, people say, like, because I still hear people for Bitcoin, it's too high. But wealthy people do not care. what it is today. They care about what it will be tomorrow. If you knew, okay, yes, Bitcoin is $100,000. And honestly, I was in at probably 30,000, 20, 30,000, right? I wish I was in when it was, man, $100. But at some point it will be 300,000. At some point it will be 500,000 and it will be a million, right? People who bought a piece will benefit. It's like owning a slice of a prime land in a growing city. You don't need the whole city, you just need a piece of it. And so that's what you need to understand. Thank you so much, Tiffany. It's good. It is good. This is good. Buying assets is good, and it's going to set you up for security. You're going to look back when you look back in the next even 3 to 5 years, and by 2030, and I know it feels like a long time, but it's not. It's going to come really quick. You're going to look back and look at some of these prices, and you're going to say, whoa, I am sick to my stomach that I did not do anything about this. Yes, I am David Walker. Buy Bitcoin in fractions and roll on from there. Even if you're buying $10, they have ETFs now. The ETFs, the last time I saw it was like in the 50s or 60s. I also have ETFs. But you can buy the ETFs also, right? So even there are businesses that are now putting their money into cryptocurrency. So now businesses are getting all the way involved. So educate yourself. That's all I'm saying, because I know there's fear around things that you're not educated on. So educate yourself. Now, and here is the rule. The rule is buy on fear and not hype. Okay. This is where most people fail, is because they buy in on hype and not value. They wait for something that's running up. I saw people jumping all on some of these cryptocurrencies when they were running up, didn't realize that there are cycles that happen. There are seasons for cryptocurrency, and you got to wait. You got to wait. You know what I'm saying? It's not something well, if you're doing it, like if you're day trading and stuff, yeah, you can make money off of it. Don't get me wrong. But I'm talking about the safe route for people who are like holding, for a period of time. Okay. So don't wait for something to run up and then panic and buy at the top. That's what most people do. When the market pulls back, when it's scary, when it's the war is coming, the market is crashing. Oh my God, pull out, sell everything you have. That's when you buy. That's when wealthy people buy. But that's when retailers, they panic and they sell at the bottom. So they buy high and then they sell low, and then they say, I ain't getting back in this because I lost my money. But that every single thing that I bought when the markets were going down and falling and everybody was like, pull out, you're gonna lose all your money, the market's gonna crash, oh God. That's when I was buying. And most of that stuff is up. Even right now, 60%, 100%. Apple, I have Apple that's up 120%. Like Nvidia is up. I mean, VTI is up. Like all of these ETFs are up from when everybody was like, oh my God, the end of the world is coming, sell everything. Okay. So, but wealthy people was buying and making you panic. Okay. Proverbs says that the wise see danger coming and take refuge, but the foolish keep going and pay the price. So don't be a fool when it comes to this. Know that the way money is transferred is from the impatient to the patient. Okay. So make sure that you're being wise in this. Wealthy people buy when there's fear. They really do. And they sell when there's greed. There's a fear index. There's a fear and greed index that you can look at to see where people are at. And when it's all the way on fear, that's when I love buying. Those are the best buying days. Those are the days that are going to make you the most money. And then I sell when there's greed. When there's a lot of greed and people are like greedy now, you sell because that's on top. Right. So you have to flip the mindset. Fear is really in the market and in cryptocurrency, often your biggest opportunity. And corrections, when the market comes back, that is not a bad thing. That is the market on sale, because some of them be overpriced anyway. When the market pulled back and became red, it's like, oh, finally, it's affordable for me, because what they had at first wasn't affordable for me, And so red days are a sale for the wise. Just understand that when you are looking at the market. Okay. Now, I'm going to end this because I have to get on my coaching call. But I do want to say, look into ETFs, some good ETFs, VTI, SCHD, those are dividend stocks. QQQ is a tech heavy stock. It's a little bit more volatile and a little bit more risky, but it do have greater long-term gains, it seems like at times, especially if you're holding for the long run. You know, you got some solid companies like Nvidia and Palantir and Netflix. Costco is a good Meta. You know, there's AMD. There's so many different ones. You got, you know, crypto. There's a lot of investments out there, but you want to start educating yourself on this, because that is where the wealth transfer is coming. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor. This is for educational purposes, not advice. Do your own research. Don't invest money you can't afford to hold long term. But what I want you to do is wake up and understand that the wealth transfer is not going to be some mystical rainstorm of money coming your way. You know, it's happening right now. But it's hidden inside appreciating assets. So while you're scrolling on TikTok and watching Netflix and overspending, just understand that there are institutions and businesses that are quietly buying up what you are ignoring. Okay. Assets do not get printed like dollars. They become more scarce. They're more valuable. Okay. So if you keep throwing your dollars on liabilities, you're just going to watch the wealth transfer happen, and you won't benefit from it because you waiting on a sign and a wonder and a money tree out in your backyard to just grow out of the blue, or you're waiting on two angels to come with wings on their back to send you a message from heaven and say, here's two, you know, stones of gold or something. I don't know what you're waiting for, but you got to do the work. You got to understand that these assets are going to be very valuable. You're going to miss out. And 5 years from now, the people who took their money and they invested the right way, they're going to be very much so rewarded. Okay. And you may be mad and you may start saying this is too expensive because you're late to the party. Don't be late to the party, y'all. Now, I have still gotten questions about the 90-day challenge. Go to the links in the description, breakbigbarriers.com. We are still open for this challenge. I think we have some slots left for this month. So go to breakbigbarriers.com. And also, if you are looking for like personalized coaching plan where you just want to reset your health and your wealth habits today, and you want to like grow your money more wisely, grow real assets, build a plan that really works for you, then you can go to the link below. I also have my calendar there where you can book a free call and we can work out a game plan for you. All right. So just make sure that you are educating yourself. Okay. Don't spend all your days doing a bunch of nothing. You know, grow, you know, have some growth in your life, some education, some personal development. Your children and your children's children future depends on the decisions that you're making right now today. And honestly, there is no generational wealth outside of assets. If you think you're going to leave an inheritance for your children's children, think again. If you have no assets, there's not enough paper dollars in the world. You need assets. You need appreciating assets that will grow while you're not even here. Okay. That's how they do it. And this is the game plan. All right. So make sure that you continue to stay in the loop. All right, I'll be back on. Thank you so much, Tiffany. I'll be back on to do some more, to answer some more of the questions that were asked, and to also answer some questions live. But I got to go because, like I said, I got a coaching session. Make sure you visit the links in the description. If you're not on YouTube, make sure you subscribe, turn on your notifications. I'll be doing a lot more trainings there, and I don't want you to miss out. All right, I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.